busy people getting fit in Fulshear, Texas. Our aim is to help you look better, feel better, and perform better as quickly as possible. I'm your host, Bryan White with Blue Eagle Fitness and Nutrition. Welcome. Hey, what's up, everybody? I am here with the rich and famous Clancy Harbors, who is giving herself her little twinkle fingers. Clancy, what are we going to talk about?
Okay, so today, the question of the day at the gym, and maybe I have the question wrong, but we asked our athletes at the gym today to tell us 3 things about themselves. And a couple of the people...
Three positive things about themselves. Three good things. Tell us 3 good things about you.
Tell us 3 good things about you. And people struggled with that. Did you sense that same struggle from a few people?
Well, as soon as Farrah gave the question, the room went collectively, oh.
They don't want to talk about themselves. I'm like, I'll talk, but I don't want to hog the time. But people struggled with it. And then even in Forever Fierce, when I asked it, they were like, oh, I can't even think of one thing. And I was like, really? Like, you guys are totally awesome and you can't think of one thing about yourself. And so I thought that was so interesting. And so you had mentioned previously about about affirmations.
Yep.
So I was wondering, do you have like a specific routine for your affirmations? Is it in the morning when you're brushing your teeth and you write them on your mirror with your toothpaste, or, what do you do?
Yeah, so I give myself positive affirmations. I will tell you that I don't have a specific time. Now, in theory, it is always better to have a specific time. We talk about habit stacking. Habit stacking is it's especially useful when we can take a habit you already do, such as when you brush your teeth in the morning, and then we stack a habit on top of that. So you brush your teeth in the morning, and then just as you said, we look in the mirror and say one positive thing about ourselves. We give ourselves a little bit of positive affirmation. I don't do that right now. It's something I'm still working on. I am actually working on more of a process to identify those positive affirmations.
Okay. So what do you mean by identifying those positive affirmations? Do you mean like you wake up and you're like, look in the mirror and you're like, ugh. Okay, maybe I'm just talking about myself. Wake up some days, I look in the mirror and I'm like, OMG, and not feeling it today. So I've identified the fact that I'm not feeling good today. And now I need to pump myself up because maybe I'm not a morning person. Is that what you mean by identify?
No, and in fact, so many things is just identified a typical response or a typical issue that most of us have with lots of these things, whether it's going to bed on time, working out, eating fruits and vegetables, spending quality time with a loved one. But because it's based on feel, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like working out, so I'm not going to work out. But do you feel it when you wake up tomorrow? Are you going to go to work? Yes. Yeah. You're going to go to work. There's no, I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning. I'm going to see how I feel. And if I just don't feel like working, I'm just not going to go to work. We don't do that. Somehow we have prioritized work over absolutely everything. Okay? And that's a different podcast. We can talk about that later. But instead of addressing that specific issue, let's take what we know works, which is if it's important enough, we will do it no matter what. We don't base it on feelings. So instead, let's elevate these positive affirmations into something we do as rote routine. It's not something that I'm going to look in the mirror and say, oh, I feel like it now. I feel good about myself. So therefore, I will now do this. I feel smart today. I will tell myself I'm smart. We're not going to do that. We're going to make this a part of our routine no matter what.
Okay, why do you think so many people struggle with thinking and saying positive things to themselves?
Well, I mean, we can take that down a couple of different rabbit holes. Whether it's, the fallen sin of man and Satan bringing down God's creatures, or if you want to get into some sort of biological evolutionary reason for us thinking less of ourselves than we really are. I'm not really the expert on that, but instead, I do know that we all have that voice in our head, and the voice, that negative voice that says, for me, my negative voice says you're not good enough. And in fact, all of us who have negative voices, those negative voices actually only fall into about 6 buckets. It's not particularly complicated. Some of us aren't good enough. Some of us have never accomplished anything, right? Which is a lie. You've accomplished plenty. You can't do it. Yes, you can. I mean, right? So these negative voices, and I don't remember all 6 buckets. I'll look into that for next time. But these negative voices are not particularly complicated.
Okay, so what are some simple things that, when the negative voice starts harping?
Yep.
What are some simple things we can do? Like, say I'm in the middle of a workout. This is when it usually happens to me.
Yeah, sure.
Long workout, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to quit. It's pretty, what are some things we can tell ourselves to offset that negative voice in our head?
Yeah, great question. And yeah, so these positive affirmations fall into 2 categories. One is reactive, which is what you're talking about, and one is proactive, that we can talk about in a moment. The reactive voice this is where I, as a coach, I try to get into your head. I do my best to get, because I want you hearing my voice, not your stupid little voice that tells you you're not good enough. I want you to hear my voice, because when you're in the middle of a workout and it's too heavy, right? The voice in your head says, this is too heavy. Good thing I'm strong, right?
Yeah.
It's heavy. Good thing I'm strong, right? I'm tired. Good thing I can keep going, right? It becomes I practice this, because when I'm in a workout, it's heavy. I think, good thing I'm strong. It just, boom. That is the immediate next thought that I want to have. In the beginning, there was this delay from, oh, this is heavy. I don't know if I can make this lift. Can I do it? And then 30 seconds later, 45 seconds later, I would remember, oh yeah, tell myself I'm strong. Good thing I'm strong. Now, especially in a workout, that delay from the negative voice into my response has gotten shorter and shorter, right? I'm tired. Good thing I can keep going. Or, good thing I can still move, right? It's a fact.
Right.
There's no judgment, and we don't want to judge. Judge just takes us down that negative path. But when I say, I'm so tired, I don't know if I can do one more. I can do one more.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Maybe I have 45 more to go, but
Right.
I can do one more.
I use that one a lot, actually, because I heard Ben Bergeron talking about that. Also, the other day, he was talking about how we're constantly judging things as either good or bad.
Yeah.
Like, we're constantly in judgment. And instead of labeling an experience or myself as either good or bad, that we can just be observers in our own situation and observe, like, why am I getting upset about this?
Yeah.
And I can stop myself and go, why am I wanting to quit here? Or why am I feeling like this is such an obstacle? Or why did that bother me so much what they said? Or, and I thought that was so interesting, because we're always like, well, that was horrible, or that was great. Everything is a judgment. Instead of trying to kind of like neutralize Hi, Rambo. Instead, we want to kind of neutralize all of that judginess in our heads, which contributes to that negative, those negative thoughts.
And
So,
you already do this. That's the thing that drives me crazy. You already do this. When your son is dating a girl and she dumps him, and she wasn't good for him anyway. You knew it wasn't going to work out. You knew there was someone better for him, but he wasn't going to listen to you, right? But she dumps him, and now his world is falling apart. And what is your response to that? Right? I mean, you're like, it's okay. You will be okay. Life will get better. Life will be better than you ever thought it was going to be. Right? This is not a bad thing. Like we are much better at this when we're dealing with a coworker or an employee, someone who reports to us, or a kid that we're raising. We just need to apply these same tools to ourselves.
mm-hmm. Yes, I've been working on this for a couple years now to apply it to people that rub me the wrong way, and I'm like, why did that bother me so much? It could be a family member. Because most of the time our family members are going to push our buttons, right? Or they know how to get, not that they're.
My family life is perfect. For the record, my family life is perfect because I know my wife is listening to this.
You
My
can't.
mother-in-law may be listening to this as well.
Right.
My dad, hey, he's listening. Perfect. I have perfect vibes.
By the way, I love her. Shout out to Melinda McGee. Love you. But I've tried to stop myself, like in a moment where I'm like feeling like that feeling that rises up where my heart starts beating faster and I'm getting upset, and I'm like, wait a minute, why am I getting upset? And just stop to kind of observe myself, and that helps me so much. And so anyway, I love this topic. I could talk about this all day.
So we were just talking about the reactive response, how when we are in a place, whether it's in a workout or you're about to give a presentation or a speech, and you've got this voice in your head of you're not good enough, you're not prepared, why are you sweating so much, right? And I would immediately switch into good thing I've practiced,
Mm-hmm.
good thing I've practiced, right? It's a fact. It is not, I'm not saying I'm going to crush this presentation. I'm not going to say that I'm completely prepared, because maybe I'm not completely prepared. Maybe, but I did practice. I practiced a lot. I put that presentation together. I reviewed that presentation with multiple stakeholders, got 5 people on board with that presentation. Now I'm going to go deliver. I had practiced. How am I going to deliver? I've practiced answering questions. So good thing I practiced, right? And that became every time I got nervous about having a tough conversation, again, it's that you're not prepared. Good thing I've practiced. That just now is my immediate response that I tell myself in my head, because it's true. I have practiced, and that is worth something.
Yes, that's awesome. I just have 3 things to say. You're good enough, you're smart enough, and doggone it, people like you.
Thank you, Clancy. Do just if you were wondering, the worst thing you could ever tell me is that I'm stupid. Like telling me that I'm stupid or not smart, that apparently really gets under my nerves or gets under my skin more than anything else. And I don't really know why. I don't, but it does. Hey, we were talking about reactive, how to respond reactively to those negative thoughts. I would like to take a few minutes to talk about how do we proactively give ourselves positive affirmations. So this goes back to your original question of, standing in front of the mirror, and whether it's in front of the mirror or just in your car or as you're walking into work. I mean, it could be anywhere. It could be anywhere. It is, how do you say good things about yourself? So let's just give a quick example. You, Clancy, you've already had some practice with this. So list three positive things about yourself.
Okay. I am I am funny and people like talking to me, frankly. Okay. That's
Yep.
two, really.
I'm funny and people like talking to me. Okay, that's right. That's two. And you can count. That's three. That's three.
And I like to have fun. Like wherever I am, I like to make it fun. If it's gonna be boring, I don't want to go. I don't want to be. I like to have fun, and sometimes, it's not always a time to have fun, but I still want to have fun, and that's, something that I strive to do wherever I am, even if it's like an insurance seminar or something.
Because you go to lots of insurance seminars.
No, but I don't know why I said that, but I like having fun and having good energy, and I hope and I think I bring that to people around me, and that's what I try to do.
Yeah,
and I think that's what so
I love it. I love it.
okay.
So let me take you through. I have a histogram here of what I follow to, and if anyone's listening to this and they struggle with their own positive affirmations, here's how you can get out of the rut and not have to overthink this. So the first, we're going to spell party with an I, by the way. It's party with an I. Okay, so the first are physical features. Okay, so is there a physical feature that is positive about you? Okay, so, and some of these we don't necessarily have to get into judgment. Are they good or are they bad? We simply list a fact. So, Clancy, what color are your eyes?
Brown.
Yeah, I have brown eyes. We can look in the mirror. I have brown eyes,
Mm-hmm.
right? I have curly hair, right? There's no judgment there, but you having brown eyes and your curly hair, I mean, you're one of these people, your hair in particular, right? I can see you from a mile away, and I know that that's Clancy by your hair, right? And you being a woman, and women are weird about this, I don't know why, but you don't, curly hair women want straight hair women want curly hair, and everybody wants it wavy or something to that effect. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, people love your hair, right? It makes it, you are distinct. That is part of who Clancy is, right?
Yes.
Right. So there was no judgment in any of the words that I used. I just said it's distinct. It's part of you. It makes you, you. Right. And that can be if you're struggling with saying, I like my hair or I have beautiful hair. We don't have to go there. We can just say, I have curly hair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For me, I have a receding hairline that stopped receding when I was 14. It has literally been this way the whole time. I've kept waiting on it to go, like, completely go bald, and it won't. It just stays right here. So my forehead is massive, right? Fortunately, apparently, I'm married to a woman who likes a big forehead, right? I mean, we all.
Sorry.
So we start listing out some physical features, right? And if I can get a bit more honest, it now becomes a bit more vulnerable. I mean, I already feel vulnerable just saying, like, I have vascular arms, right? It is funny. People say you have such big arms, and really they're not that big, right? It's not, I don't have a big arm, but kind of relative to the rest of me, or what you might expect. I mean, but you can see my veins popping out, on my arms and my legs. And I mean, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
Right. So that's where we would start. Okay. With our P, we said party with an I, physical features. Okay.
Okay.
The next is A, the A, accomplishments. Name something you have accomplished.
I've stayed married for almost 25 years.
Love it. Almost 25. When is your 25th?
March 14th.
Oh, coming up?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got us beat by about 6 months. Right at 9 months, 8 months, right at eight
Yeah,
months.
got married.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a great. It's now right again. We are stating a fact. That is, there's no argument here. You have accomplished it,
Yes.
right? You have accomplished. You've been married for almost 25 years, and anyone who's ever been married knows that that's an accomplishment,
It is. Yes.
right?
Yes.
I have a PhD in chemistry.
That's incredible.
Right, we can argue, again, am I smart? Am I not smart? Can I do this? Can I study? It doesn't, none of those things matter. I've just stated a fact. I have accomplished that I have a PhD in chemistry. Okay. And I've been married almost 25 years. So right now I've just listed off two accomplishments that are positive about me, right? Anything else? Name one other accomplishment for you.
Let's see. Gosh, I have so many. I'm just kidding. I have a degree in journalism from Texas A&M University.
Love it. Love
That's
it. Right? I mean, we're not, but once you start saying these things out loud, right, accomplishments are inherently positive.
Yeah.
And we need to remind ourselves of things that we've already accomplished. So often, right, we see this in the gym a lot. People get discouraged because they're not to the next level. And they forget that right, I can't lose those last 5 pounds. We talked about that before.
Yeah.
You lost 25 pounds in 6 months. let's put some things in perspective, right? Okay, so we have P, physical features, A, accomplishments, R, relationships.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, so R are our relationships. I mean, anyone we all know in our relationships that those do take work to maintain. So, we can talk about your kids. How many kids do you have?
I have 2 boys.
Okay, and tell us about the last time y'all spent time together, or you spent time with either or both of your sons.
Recently, so Zach, my oldest son, he's 21. He's in College Station. He just started vet school. He's in his first semester. And I was able to drive up there a couple weeks ago, and just he and I hung out for one whole evening and cooked dinner. And I spent the night and then came home the next day. And it was just so fun because it was just he and I. And we just stayed at his apartment and, had some wine, made some lasagna, and hung out. It was like awesome.
So there you go, right? I mean, now you can remind yourself again. We talk about, hey, I hung out with my son this weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
For me, on this past Sunday, Avery was at Olympic Development Program for water polo, and I supported my daughter at ODP on Sunday, and then we went out for ice cream and for dinner. I mean, those are, again, I'm just stating facts, but those are the things that I did to connect with my daughter in these relationships, right? This is how I'm building my relationships. And I can remind myself, these are all we're trying to do is remind ourselves of how great we are, right? And great, I mean, because we are great. People are great. They're working hard. They're loving people as best as they can. They're trying to take care of themselves as best they can. We just need to remind them about all the great things that they're doing, because we know that greatness begets greatness. When you realize you're headed in that positive direction, it's just going to keep getting more and more positive. How often does that spiral down into the negativity start with that poor thought that isn't checked, and it just gets worse and worse. So we have P, physical attributes, A, accomplishments, R, relationships, T, trying. Effort. Trying. Where are you giving effort?
So I am currently working on becoming a better coach, a better trainer, so that I can give the athletes, anyone I'm coaching, whether it's Forever Fierce or whether it's the CrossFit classes, so I can give the athletes the best experience being around you guys like you and Farah and Bruce for so many years now and watching you guys coach, it makes me want to raise my level. So that's one thing I've really been putting in a little extra time studying.
Yeah.
Trying to learn how the nuances of the classes and how those work. So I've been putting in more effort there. That's
Love
one
it.
of them.
So this just becomes, okay, I'm giving effort. I studied, I read that article Bryan sent me. Excellent. Great. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm giving effort. So this isn't tied to an accomplishment. We may not have accomplished anything yet. We may not have actually gotten better or succeeded the way we wanted to. But we still want to give ourselves, effort. Just giving the effort is an important piece of the whole process. Right? And in fact, I would say is the most important piece of the process. So trying and effort, whether it's, I'm trying to think of a good one for myself. Podcasts. I'm trying to get better at podcasts. These podcasts aren't perfect. In fact, I had a podcast scheduled for this past weekend. It didn't happen. Why didn't it happen? Because of all things, I actually forgot to send the meeting notice. I'm connecting with our guest. She'll be on in a couple of weeks. But I'm trying to make these podcasts a better way to communicate with our community within Blue Eagle, but just also the Fulshear community at large. So I do give myself an opportunity of, hey, good effort. Let's learn. You made a mistake. Let's learn from that and put a process in place to make it better. Right?
Yeah.
So that's our trying. That's our T. And then we're down to the I, the PARTI. Okay. And the I is innate. Okay. Innate. So what is a part of you? What about you is true no matter the circumstance?
Oh, wow.
Okay, you're overthinking this. Let me give you some answers. You are a daughter.
True.
Not going to change. There is someone in your life. You have two people who love you.
Yes, true.
Right, your mom and your dad. Right, and there's very little, if nothing, you could ever do to change that. Right.
True.
So that would be an example of something innate about you. Right, we all have a mom. All of us have. You have, how many dogs do you have? 2?
I have 2 dogs.
Yeah, your dogs love you.
Yes, totally.
Right? It's what dogs do. If there's someone listening to this podcast and you don't feel loved, first of all, I'd love for you to come see us, because I guarantee if you come into our gym, you are going to be loved. Second of all, if doesn't work for whatever reason, get yourself a dog. The dog will love you. I would like to say that your dog's not going to love you as much as we will, but
he will love you to pieces.
Yeah, he will love you. He will love you to pieces. So, the other things that are innate to you, right, is you're a mom. Mm-hmm. Right? And that being a mom, I'm a dad. Being a mom, I'm always from now until forever, I'm always going to be a dad. Right? Even under worst case scenario, and for whatever reason my daughter's passed away, I'm still a dad. Right? And that is innate. It is about me, and it's never going to change. So that's something that, when I start thinking about this party, PARTI, and I start looking at, physical attributes, things I've accomplished, the relationships that I have, the effort that I'm putting into my life, and things that are just inherent about me, I can now I can just fairly straightforward way, without a whole lot of thinking, come up with 5 to 10 attributes about myself that I can share with myself. Again, whether it's in front of the mirror in the morning, alone in a closet or in my car or as I walk to work or wherever. That's where I can come with my positive affirmations.
I love it.
So there you go.
Great. This was a great podcast, in my opinion. So, hey.
There you go. So now we've just added a few more positive affirmations, right? We gave her effort. We came in here. We were prepared. We set this up and tried to get the lighting a bit. We got the sound on, right? I mean, we gave in lots of effort. You and I are building a relationship, right? We're trying to connect with each other a little bit better. What did we accomplish? We got this podcast done, and I'll get it posted on later today.
Awesome.
You still have your curly hair, and I still have my vascular arms and big forehead, and then you're a mom, I'm a dad, you're a daughter, I'm a son, so there we go. There are the positive affirmations that we can talk about while still removing the judgment. We don't need to worry about that yet.
And now I get to go coach 4:30 CrossFit, so I got to bounce.
Okay. Excellent. Well, have a good day.
Okay. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
You can get every episode of Busy People Getting Fit wherever you listen to your podcasts or on YouTube. You can also reach us at busypeoplegettingfit.com. Until next time, thank you for listening.